morning, colleagues, and welcome to this spring's faculty and staff welcome meeting. I'm Michael Toulier, Executive Director of Strategic Communication and Marketing, and I'll be helping to facilitate today's launch of our week-long activities to help you ease into the spring semester. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to turn the podium over to President Chris Markwood.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome to the spring 2021 semester. I have to admit, there were several times when I wondered if or how we would get here. But friends, we did it. You did it. Colleagues, 2020 was in fact a remarkable year. We made it through and have overcome so much. But this morning, I am not looking at last year through the singular lenses of the challenges the pandemic has presented us. Instead, starting this morning and through our welcome events this week, we will examine 2020 through the lenses of the strengths of the CSU experience, cultivating creativity, inspiring collaboration, reimagining education, and expanding worlds. When we talk about being creative to the core, these strengths are what we want our students, our alumni, and the community to recognize as the quintessential experience at CSU. Through your diligence and persistence in 2020, we have remained true to that promise, especially to our students who, like you, remain focused on education's importance to their futures, our community, our workforce, and our economy. At CSU, we change lives, we change families, and we change communities. Essential to delivering on that promise is cultivating creativity. Creativity is so important to what we do at Columbus State that it is one of our core values. We consider it to be pursuing distinction through inquiry and innovation, challenging convention, and focusing on solutions. We, in higher education, faculty and staff alike, do more than impart facts. We develop the world's next generation of leaders and creative problem solvers who are well positioned for success in the 21st century. But guess what? Our students are paying as much attention to how we teach, including our creativity and ingenuity, as to what we teach. That is where we have benefited and will continue to benefit through the creative muscles that you flex, both inside and outside of the classroom. Our collective struggles to engage and serve students in innovative ways will lead to new best practices for teaching and serving students, not only for CSU, but for all of higher education as well. Already, CSU faculty and staff are being recognized across the state and around the country for their innovations. Dr. Michelle Folta in our music department is a finalist for a Grammy Music Educators Award, a Grammy. Our communication department graduated its first 2 Nexus Film production students, making them the first students in the country to earn a Nexus degree in any discipline. A team of faculty members helped successfully mentor recent CSU grad Brittany Parker through the Fulbright Scholars process. She'll be living and teaching English in South Korea for the next year. And most recently, Dr. Monica Frazier in our biology department was listed among the nation's most influential African-American scientists. This is what the CSU experience is all about. This pandemic has led us to be creative in our own unique ways and problem solvers in our own right. I have seen final student art shows on the Riverwalk. I've heard music in the downtown parking decks. I've walked by classes meeting outside, and have had conversations with students about how their faculty and our staff are doing amazing things to keep their university open and functioning. Yes, our students are bragging about your creativity, and our community is taking notice as well. You really have demonstrated and modeled being creative to the core. You know, educating students is not the task of one person, one department, or one discipline. It is a team effort. Partnerships are important, which is why inspiring collaboration is the second strength of the CSU experience. Your work represents integral and powerful collaborations between Columbus State University and local, regional, national, and international communities. Your efforts to teach and support our students and provide them with enriching co-curricular activities are vital to CSU's efforts to spur economic development and meet workforce demands. Your mentoring, engagement, and connections help our students get their experience that they need and open doors for opportunities, from that first job to a lifetime of successes. Our influence in this regard is evident through the USG's recent economic impact and workforce development studies. In 2019, CSU had a $290 million economic impact on our region. Furthermore, a CSU degree increases our alumni's earning potential by an additional $840,000 over their lifetime. Our students need us to continue flexing our creative muscles during this time as they struggle to engage, learn, and lead. They need our help so they can continue benefiting from a range of collaborative experiences that will position them for greatness and help them stand out in the crowd. Experiences ranging from internships, practicums, and clinicals to student exchange and study abroad programs with our partners around the globe. One of the initiatives of our foundation Board of Trustees is a partnership task force. This task force is working with me to ensure that we are meeting the needs of local and regional employers. We're meeting with CEOs and hiring managers to discuss what they see on the horizon for their businesses. What are the skills and content areas that we need to be preparing for at CSU over the next 3, 5, or even as far out as 10 years in the future? We're making sure that deans and departments are connected to the right people to expand internships and collaborative projects. Collaboration and partnerships are critical to how Columbus operates and are central to Columbus State University's success. Another strength of the CSU experience, reimagining education, calls us to provide something other than a cookie-cutter education. Even before the pandemic, many of you were already embracing the spirit of pioneering new approaches and new partnerships to make education engaging and rewarding for your students and for yourselves. Your willingness to further embrace this innovative spirit has been essential to our ability to preserve and persevere. This pandemic has required us to approach our availability and accessibility to our students in everything from the business perspective to advising and tutoring in profoundly different ways. Your pioneering approach to these essential elements of the CSU experience has been and remains vital to our students' success. We will be hearing shortly about many of the ways you've been connecting, inspiring, and sharing with our students and one another. I want to remind you all of something the Provost and I have emphasized in the past. Innovation is sometimes messy. Doing something new can be risky and may even result in failure, but messy and failure are okay. Few successful innovations happen perfectly on the first try. Few discoveries happen on the first look. As faculty and staff, you have a duty to look for new and more effective ways of doing things. Yes, that means some of the things you will try might not be successful, but you tried something new. Learn from it and try again. A growth mindset is something we need to instill in our students, but it is also something we should model for them. From my perspective, you have the right to a spectacular failure when you're doing your best to reimagine education. With vaccine distribution beginning, many are looking forward to a return to normal. And while I believe that we will have a new normal, I do not believe it will be by returning to the past. We have learned many lessons from this experience that will change higher education forever. We know that some innovative technologies can be effective, challenging us to reimagine course content and delivery. We have learned how some administrative functions can be performed from a distance or by leveraging technology in new ways, challenging us to reimagine what administrative organization, space utilization, customer service, and collaboration look like on campus. We know that out-of-state alumni will participate in virtual homecoming events, challenging us to be more inclusive in our on-campus events. Our prospective students have shown us their willingness to participate in online orientation, challenging us to reimagine what we can do by mixing both virtual and on-campus experiences. Even examples of a food truck now challenge us to identify other services that we can take to our students rather than requiring them to come to us all the time. So, as we continue to expand on-campus engagement with students and the community and increase in-class instruction, I expect we will find our new normal, but not by looking back to what we did, but by continuing to look forward as we evaluate, innovate, and evolve. And finally, as you have worked so diligently to expand worlds for our students, you have expanded your own worlds as well. You are trying new ways to engage our students in the classroom. You are employing new learning technologies. You are collaborating with colleagues both here at CSU, across the US, and abroad as you seek new best practices for teaching and serving students. You are bridging the digital divide between yourself and students studying remotely while reminding them they still matter to us, that they are still very much part of the CSU family. Each of our students dream of finding their place in this world and making an impact. This pandemic has us all struggling to feel connected with the real world. Your efforts and interactions with our students in the classroom, through student life activities, and as part of our student support programs, whether in person or remote, remain part of their real world experience right now. Whether they realize it or not, students are honing essential skills, even in a virtual setting. Skills like a keener sense of time management, working distantly and virtually, collaborating without always having the benefit of interpersonal cues, and communicating with a greater reverence for syntax and context. These are skills and experiences they might not have gained through a purely traditional educational experience. These are essential skills that many of us are refining and discovering ourselves. I'm sure you have had days during these past many months that have not gone exactly right. Days where you found yourself at home, deflated, defeated, wondering if you made a difference, wondering if you really connected with your students, with your colleagues, with anyone human. And I'm sure you've had them because I've had them too. Last semester, we asked our students to share their thoughts on their fall experience. Listen to what they had to say about you. Nearly 3/4 or more said that you provided feedback in a timely manner, that your interactions with them were positive, that you had been empathetic with them at a time when they needed it the most. They said they felt CSU kept them safe, that we kept them informed, that we provided them a place where they were comfortable being themselves. So in those moments when you find yourself questioning your effectiveness, remember that yes, you made a difference. We all did. And we will do an even better job of that this semester as we look through the lens of our collective achievements, undeterred by the challenges we faced and encouraged by the challenges we have overcome. There is a reason the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. We forge ahead with the benefit of the experiences behind us, but with both eyes squarely focused on the road ahead of us. With the benefit of that hindsight, we look forward to a new semester, new opportunities to cultivate creativity, new ways to inspire collaboration, a renewed call to reimagine education, and with a resolve to use our resources and ingenuity to expand our students' worlds. Colleagues, we are battle-tested. We do have reason to be proud of what we have achieved. And as we said in the opening, it's time to get to work, CSU. It is fitting on the day following Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and as an institution that values servant leadership, that we reflect on his thoughts about service. Life's most persistent and urgent question, Dr. King said, is what are you doing for others? Whether you serve our students in classrooms, labs, studios, or on stage, on the field, or on the court. If you keep our facilities sanitized and safe, if you keep our budgets in check, if you keep our technology working, you are part of something bigger. You are part of a family that is devoted to doing for others. Our work, our service changes lives, changes families, and changes communities. So before we move on to the next segment of our program, let me pause and say a heartfelt thank you to our faculty who responded with flexibility and empathy as they had to completely and totally upend their coursework in pedagogy. To many of our staff who learned to work remotely and still connect with colleagues, students, and families. To our physically present personnel whose jobs required them to be on campus every day to keep our facilities safe, sanitized, and staffed. To our trustees, partners, alumni, and donors who never wavered in their support. We all had a part to play in the hard work worth doing. So thank you. I could not be more proud of you and of Columbus State University. Now, to tell us more about the work ahead, I'm pleased to introduce our Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Debra Borderland.